here for Carlton Travel Adventures, but today I'm not going to talk about travel, nothing like that. I was talking to a friend yesterday on the phone, and the topic of drips came up. Drips, D-R-I-P-S. I asked a person if they knew about drips as a way to invest, and they had no clue what a drip was. And my first thought was, dummy, like everybody knows that. And I said to myself, Carl, don't be an asshole, man. You grew up around this stuff. You know, you're working towards the Wall Street area when you were 23, 24, 25. It's come automatically to you, but people don't know this stuff. You think they know, but they don't. So don't be an asshole. Wow, I said, well, maybe I should do one video on drips, okay? A lot of you guys probably already know this. I know that. Some of you might not, because I assume everyone did. You know, it's a good way to invest over long term. This is only for long-term investors, not for a quick buck. You know, I got into it when I was probably about 23, 24, about 23 maybe, these drips. I knew about them, and again, from working around the Wall Street area, talking to some older guys like this guy, you know, I work with, he's 70 years old, you know, so I got into drips early, and they paid a fortune later on, okay? It's just a long-term tool. What's a drip? Dividend reinvestment plan, okay? What you do is you can invest, say, $100 to start. You know, you got to pick one or two stocks, okay? I would say it's where you have to be careful. Pick well-known, solid companies that's going to be around forever, like a Walmart, okay? Like a power company. I started out with 4. I think it was, I did the Walmart, Johnson Control, the JCI. I did Wisconsin Energy. I did Coke. I think Coke and Pepsi is going to be around forever. McDonald's probably too. But you got to pick good companies. But even if you pick good companies, you can pick a bad one like a GE, which I was not in, thank God. Okay? But it's long-term investment. You take $100 to start the drip. You set it up. Pick one or two or three companies you want to invest in. I would say you can't lose with a Walmart. I'm not giving you any advice. A Coke, stuff like that. That worked out good for me. And when you start the drip, you can invest every month a certain amount. Okay? I started like $100 a month to invest in like 3 drips. Then I got up to about $250, you know, a month over time. Probably after 2 years or so, or 3 years, as I got more pay. I told you one time I went with like 4 or 5 years with no increase in salary. Well, I got an increase, but I pretend I didn't get the increase and just invested it, continue investing it. One thing I did with some of the money I got every year from these increases, which I didn't spend, was to invest it in drips, okay? So, if you're doing, you can invest, say, $25 a month or $50 a month in a drip for this company. Invest, and say a company like Walmart is worth $100 a share, which it is right now. Back then it was worth like $25 a share, you know. You could buy 1 share for $25. Today it's worth $100 a share, $102, okay. If you invested systemically a certain amount every month for years, okay. If it's worth $100 a share, you're only going to buy, you know, a quarter of a share. Well, one of the advantages of the drip, you can buy fractional shares, okay. Let's go to some of the big advantages of these drips. Believe me, over time, over a 20-year period, be amazed how much money you can accumulate in shares of these stocks, okay? Because what happens too is you're reinvesting the dividend, the quarterly dividend you're going to make on these shares, and also some of these stock will split. You know, I did a few splits with Johnson Control, split maybe once or twice. You get double the number of shares, okay? Adds up again, and their price start going up after that. So, the big advantages of these drips, okay? Remember, they're long-term investments only, but if you're in your 20s and your 30s, start the drip, okay? A little extra money every month, put it in 1 or 2 or 3 stocks. It's addition to what you do in other places, in other things you invested in, but just do a drip, $100 a month, if it's all I can afford. You can afford $200 a month, do that. Talk to your kids about it. If you're older like my age, you want to do it, so you talk to your kids about it, grandkids about it, okay? Teach them about this stuff. Have them watch my video. Teach them about drips. Have them read about drips. Have them start young. Start when they're 20s, early 30s, okay? okay? You're amazed how much money you'll have when you're in the 50s, okay? So this is it. One advantage of the drips, you don't need a lot of money, okay? You can probably open a drip for $100 and you can invest every month, say $50, and do direct investment, $50 a month, $25 a month, $20 a month, whatever the minimum it might be for that drip. And just don't even see the money in your paycheck, just push it right to the drip, okay? Invest in 1, 2, 3, 4 companies. Started with 3, went to 5, you know, before I stopped at these 5, okay? All right, so you don't need a lot of money for a drip. It's commission free. You won't get charged a commission, not like buying your stock from a brokerage company like E-Trade, okay? Commission free. When when you get the dividends reinvested, that's also free. You know, you can make, say, $10 in a quarter in dividends. Could be $5. Reinvest and you buy more of the same share at no cost to you. You might see, okay, getting a fraction of a share, I'm getting a 1/8 of a share, but so what? Believe me, it adds up over time. It adds a lot over time. You can buy fractional shares. You don't have to buy a whole share. If it's $100 a share for Microsoft, you invest $25, you buy a quarter of a share. You can't go to a brokerage firm and buy a quarter of a share of Walmart or of Microsoft. You won't do it. With a drip, you can do that, okay? Believe me, it's a big advantage, all right? And one of the last main advantage, dollar cost averaging. Excuse me. Adds up, okay? When the stock's at a low price, remember, if you go over a 20-year period, 10-year period, the stock's going to be at a low price. You know, when the stock's at a low, you're going to buy more shares. High, you're going to buy less shares, obviously. But I guarantee you, when you average it out, you know, you're going to be fine, okay, over a 20-year period. We go to these periods where the stock market crashes or just tanks for a little bit, you know, the share's going to drop. That investment you make every month, be buying more and more and more shares of the stock. It's going to come back up, I guarantee you. It's going to come back up. Then, you know, you're going to make money. So, dollar cost averaging is a big advantage over a 20-year period, 30-year period, okay? Take kids about it. But they're not all advantages. There's some disadvantages to this, which is why I stopped it at the 30-year period. But if I tell you what the disadvantages, you can actually plan for it and prevent what happened to me with these drips, okay? Obviously, this disadvantage is picking one stock. Not like a mutual fund, you're picking one stock. If you pick GE, invested for years at $30 a share, $50 a share, and GE tanks, almost goes bankrupt, now it's at $10 a share, you're gonna say, shit, I invested 30 years and lost all that money, okay? But I wouldn't panic. I would still buy GE right now at $6 to $10 a share. I would right now. Actually, I might buy some next week. You know, never know. It's gonna go back up, okay? But if you pick the wrong stock, you can be screwed. You pick 5 stocks, the chances are though, they're solid stocks, solid companies like Walmart, some energy companies, Duke Energy, Wisconsin Energies. You're gonna be fine. Johnson & Johnson, you're gonna be fine. Microsoft, gonna be around forever, okay? So, the disadvantage, you're picking one stock or 2 stocks, and they could go under over a 20-year period, okay? But I wouldn't worry about it. Taxes, gotta pay taxes every year. If it's not in your IRA, pay taxes every year, even though you're not getting the money in your hands, okay? That's happened anyway in my regular portfolio, so it's not a big deal to me. I don't worry about that. But, you know, you're gonna pay taxes and you're not taking money out. You're getting dividends every quarter, pay taxes on it, but you're never getting the money, just reinvest it. It's okay. Don't worry about the tax, okay? And the one biggest disadvantage, which I'm telling you guys that I fell into, remember, I don't know it all. I'm still glad I did it, and I explain to you why in a minute. I passed that risk on to my ex-wife. Sorry if you're seeing this. Record keeping, the biggest issue I discovered later on, probably about 15 years later after I do it. You gotta keep good records, okay? So if it's in a private account, when you sell, how do you keep track of all this stuff for 30-year period, 20-year period, okay? It's tough. some of these investment firms will have records for you, but when I checked the records, some of them didn't go back for 20, 30 years. They didn't do that. They said, we only go back maybe 10 years. For instance, when I had Coke, and when I discovered the record keeping issue, I contacted the investment firm and said, wait a minute now, do you have my record for the last 30 years for Coke? They go, I don't think I have. We have 30 years. I might have the last 15, to 7 to 15. So what happens when you try to sell the shares later on, you try to track your gain, and you knowing your cost of these shares and your gain, it's going to be a little tricky, okay? A little tricky. So what do? When I get divorced, part of my divorce settlement, I gave my wife all those drips, okay? All those drips. It's now her problem, part of the divorce settlement. But you know what? It also helped me because that's money I didn't have to give her from other stuff, other investment accounts. But if you can keep up a software program, an Excel program, to keep a track of those drips and save them on a disk, you're fine, okay? Just warn you about that record keeping issue that no one told me about, but I'm so glad I did it. I mean, I remember buying Walmart at $25 a share. It's at $100 right now, okay? A lot of companies that, split, like Johnson Control, split a few times. Then you have, from having 100 shares to 200 shares, to 400 shares. I'm talking about a 20-year period, not a short-term period, a 20-year period. So tell your kids about drips, okay? Just keep good records for the drip. You don't need a lot of money. If you're 20 years old, 25 years old, do some drips. It's a good way to invest over a long-term period with a little bit of money every month. It could be $100 a month and invest in maybe 2 drips, maybe 3. Find out what the minimum investment is every month. Okay, some of them are a little less, $25 a month minimum. So if you have $100 a month to put in these 4 companies, you're gonna invest in 4 companies and maybe, and buy fractional shares in 4 companies. You'd be amazed how this stuff adds up over a 20-year period. I guarantee you. You don't think about it, it's only $100, right? I'm telling you, over a 10, 20-year period, with investing a little $100 a month in 4 companies and investing the dividend every year, it's going to add up to a lot of money, okay? That's my tip for today. There's more coming. I love talking this stuff. And talking about insurance later on. I'd help your kids get through college the smart way. They don't have to be smart to make it through college. I can help them with some tricks, okay? Thanks for listening. If only 10 people watch this video and I help 2 of them, my job's done. I don't need to have it go viral. If I teach a few of you something, I'm happy. Have a good day. Subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Bye.